Hey, so in today's video, I'm basically going to be talking about my Acotar book 6 theories. So this is going to be like spoilers for like the entire Acotar series. And it's going to focus mainly on the, I don't know what you could call it. I think it's like a love square between Lucien, Elain, Azriel and Gwyn. And like what I think, like my random theories. And obviously I don't think they're all going to be right. But if at least one of them is right, I'm going to be so absolutely shocked. Okay, so starting off number one, and I've been doing an Okay, so starting off number one, I've been doing an Acotar reread. So I've reread the first book, I reread the second book, and now I'm rereading the third book. So yeah, these are my theories, and some of them, like, they're not really necessarily backed up. This is just what I'm thinking in my head. Okay, so Azriel's shadows, I don't know, like, if it says where his shadows come from, or like why he has shadows. I feel like Feyre said something about it, but anyway, I am guessing it came from like that dark time in his life where he was like locked in a dungeon by like his family, and like he was kind of alone in isolation, so like the shadows became his friends, and like the shadows protect him, defend him, kind of thing. That's my theory for where his shadows came from. If like, it's probably already been said, but I just can't remember. So this is why I think his shadows interact differently with Elain and Gwyn. So first of all, Elain. Oh, also like disclaimer, I ship Azriel and Elain, but like I don't know what's gonna happen. So anyway, my theory with Elain is like Feyre always describes Elain as like a like lovely pure sister, like she always sees the light in everything. And like when we see with Azriel's like shadows, like they always disappear around Elain. So I thought maybe that has something to do with like Elain being like this like pure lovely like light, in that like she's just so like light and like pure that like his shadows don't need to be there, like they don't need to like protect him or like defend him, because he's around someone who's like who he just like there's no ill will, like she's just a pure lovely good person, like his shadows don't need to be there. Versus with Gwyn, like his shadows danced with Gwyn in like A Court of Silver Flames like bonus chapter. Also, I would not have known it was going to be like a love triangle kind of thing with Azriel, Elain and Gwyn unless I read the Court of Silver Flames bonus chapter. I don't know if I was missing out on stuff, but in A Court of Silver Flames I did not see anything between Azriel and Gwyn. It was only in like the bonus chapter I literally read on TikTok. I was like, oh, there's something going on here. Okay, but his shadows dance with Gwyn. So I was like, what if, because Gwyn has like, he rescued Gwyn from like this really horrible time in her life. So like Gwyn has some darkness, like Gwyn has some like things that she's gone through, like things that she's experienced. So I thought like, what if his shadows dance with Gwyn, because she's like a kindred spirit, like they both have darkness, and like somebody that he can share like the dark parts of himself with. Like with Elain, it's like light, and maybe like it's so like bright that he doesn't necessarily need to think about his past or like dwell in his past, like he can just be like in this light, and he doesn't need his shadows. But with Gwyn, like maybe it's like, oh, like we're the same, like we've gone through like hard times, like you know what it's like. And so like, I'm saying like a lot, but so they share, I'm trying not to say like, but anyway, so like they share a like a similar darkness, and so like his shadows see that in her, and they can like dance because it's like familiarity, like you and me are the same. I've just said the same thing twice and just made it twice as long, but anyway. And I've been like tabbing things, so this is about the mating bond. Okay, this is my mating bond theory. I'm not sure if Elain and Lucien are actually mates. I know we have the whole evil Reese theory that like evil Reese like tricked them into thinking that they would be mates or something like that. Yeah, I don't know about the evil Reese theory, but it says something here. So when Elain is like going through her like seeing things and just saying random things phase, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, there's something wrong, we need to call a healer. The healer comes and she can't see through Elain's mental shield. So she says that Lucien will be able to see, because mates can sense when something's wrong. but Lucien can't tell. Like, Lucien tugs on like this bond, and so maybe they are actually mates, because he says, I just tugged on the bond like it was a physical string. He tugs on it and she like jumps up or whatever, and she's like, anyway, I might find it later on, but he can't figure out what's wrong. Like, he tugs on the bond and she's like, and she like jumps up and everyone's like, oh my gosh, what just happened? And she says, oh, it felt like you tugged my rib or something like that. But he can't figure out that she's a seer, whereas it's Azriel who figures out that she's a seer. Like, Azriel can tell, and then Feyre makes this comment like, oh, of course it would be him, like, he listens and stuff like that. But okay, so this is the thing. It says that, like, about the mating bond, but it will still be a bond, however weakened, that will trail her for the rest of her existence. So that's if she rejects Lucien, like, I'm like, it will be forever a love triangle. Like, there will always be like this little connection between them, like. And I was like, oh my gosh, yeah. And then it's like, as like, this is Azriel, like, no shadows at his ear, no darkness wringing his fingers as he extended a hand. Like, his shadows are always gone around Elain, so I feel like I need answers why his shadows are gone with Elain and why they're dancing with Gwyn. But okay, why I don't think Lucien and Elain are mates, it's partially because Maja said that he should be able to figure out what's wrong with her, and it's Azriel who figures it out. Oh, and it's another thing actually. He makes this comment one time when he figures out that she's a seer, as if Lucien just stared and stared at my sister as if he'd never seen her before. Like, what? Like, why would she write that? Because I feel like she is so like specific with the things that she says. So why would she say as if he'd never seen her before? Does that mean that like he's never truly like seen her and understood her? Like, he just was like, oh, there's a bond between us, like, I'll just accept that, and has never like actually understood her? Because maybe like that makes me think that they're maybe not mates. And then Feyre says, this is it. It made sense, I suppose, that Azriel alone had listened to her, the male who heard things others could not. Perhaps he too had suffered as Elain before he understood what gift he possessed. So this is why I think Elain and Azriel are mates. Yeah, Elain and Azriel are mates. Mostly because he figured out that she was a seer, and then that random like comment about like it was as if it was the first time that Lucien saw her or whatever. Like, it's making me think like, why does Lucien, why did he not know? Why does he not understand her? Okay, but then this is one of my book 6 theories. Okay, so if Elain and Azriel are actually mates, like, Rhys has just forbidden Azriel from dating Elain. Like, A Court of Silver Flames, Rhys is like, you are not to go near her or whatever. So, what if, like, Elain and Azriel are actually mates, but Elain thinks her mate is Lucien, so she, like, starts to hang out with him, like, give him a chance, falls in love with him, and, like, Azriel's been sworn off of Elain, so he, like, starts up a romance with Gwyn, and then both of them find out that they're actually mates, but they're just in love with different people now. Like, Azriel's in love with Gwyn, Elain's in love with Lucien, so they just, like, reject the mating bond, because she keeps on saying, like, what if the Cauldron got it wrong? Like, can they reject the mating bond? Like, all of this stuff, like, all of this whole reject mating bond, if they end up, like, if Elain and Lucien are mates and she ends up with him, and Azriel and Gwyn are mates and they end up together, I'm just gonna be like, why? Like, why did we have so much what if the Cauldron got it wrong? Like, so much disproving the fact that the Cauldron can actually pick the perfect mate, only for everybody to end up with their mate. Like, I feel like she's not gonna do that. So that's my theory of how it might go down. I do think Elain and Azriel, I feel like there's a big possibility of them ending up together because of the whole, like, disproving the whole mates thing that she keeps making, like, these comments in the book. But it's not 100% because why was Gwyn added into this, like, love triangle gone to love square? And also Moore. Like, we already know that Moore and Eris have, like, 2 very different sides of the story of what happened to her. And SJM has, like, known this and been planting this since, like, Acotar. And it's mentioned again in A Court of Silver Flames. So we know that Eris isn't the villain that we think he is. So I'm just like, is this a love pentagon now? Like, Azriel loves Gwyn and Elain, or he likes Elain, he likes Gwyn, and he maybe loves Moore, and then Lucien and Elain are mates, and Elain likes Azriel, and Azriel likes Gwyn, but does Gwyn like Azriel? I don't know. Like, why is it so messy? Why are there actually 5 people involved in this? And why is Azriel, like, he has been hung up on one girl for the past, like, what, 100 years? And now he's just fancying every single girl. Why is he over here being so messy for? Yeah. So I think he maybe Azriel and Elain are mates, and then they're gonna reject their mating bond and go with different people. That's such an outlandish theory. I'd be so surprised if that was right. I have no idea who he's gonna pick, and I think about this love triangle or love pentagon all the time. Like, I think all the time. I need answers so badly. Okay, also, this is now more like entering like spoilers for like the Massiverse, like spoilers for maybe Crescent City spoilers and maybe Throne of Glass spoilers. So if you haven't read those series, this is where you should click off and stop watching. Okay, so in Crescent City 3, like, we see that Bryce goes into the Acotar world. Oh my gosh, she meets Nesta and Azriel, and I feel like that really set up Azriel as being like a main character. Like, we've never seen really as much Azriel as we do in those moments with Bryce. Like, it's literally Bryce, Nesta, Azriel, like them together. So I think that I feel like the next book will be his book, but do we think there's going to be any more like crossovers? Like, is there going to be any more like multiverse stuff going on? I hope there is. Honestly, I hope there is. And I feel like Acotar book 6 will be discussing the aftermath of that whole epic crossover, because, I mean, unless it's set before then, but like, we need to, like, I feel like they need to discuss the fact that people from different worlds are able to like travel, like how they met someone from a completely different world. She just came into this one. Like, they need to talk about it, and I'm just like, is it, like, I feel like it's gonna be mentioned, but like, is there gonna be any more crossovers? And if so, I really hope there's Throne of Glass. Like, I actually really hope it's Throne of Glass. Like, I really want the Throne of Glass and Acotar characters to meet, and I feel like I can't decide whether I want them to be friends or like hate each other. Like, a part of me wants them to just like meet, interact, like, oh my gosh, who would be friends? But part of me wants them to like battle and see like which cast is stronger. Like, is it Throne of Glass or Acotar that's stronger? I think personally, at full power, I think a lot of the Throne of Glass cast are stronger, but I do think Rhysand's probably like the most like strong, powerful person that she's ever written. So yeah, I don't know what will happen, but I just think that'd be so cool, and I really, 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 really hope there are more crossovers, because it, like, we've had crossovers like Kingdom of Ash. Elucien is like falling through the worlds, and she sees Rhysand and Feyre. Like, what? Then Bryce actually travels into the Acotar world? Like, it's so crazy. It's so crazy. It's so exciting. I love that she set it up for all those crossovers, and I think that there's been a lot of theories, like, is she gonna go and write some more Throne of Glass books? And if so, like, I want an epic crossover. I want Bryce, Elucien, Feyre, like, I want all of the worlds crossing over. I hope she does that, but who knows. Anyway, that was just me guessing at random things. But yeah, this is the end of my Acotar book 6 theories. Thanks for watching. Bye.